Hey, how are you? I'm Slice of Otaku, and it looks like My Villain Academia is finally happening in the manga, and I, for one, am really excited. As you can probably tell by the two videos we already have on Shigaraki, we love us some villains, so Chapter 218 kicking off a new villain-centric arc has thus far been a blessing. Throughout the series, Horikoshi has been rather frugal with his inclusion of villains as to elicit a certain mystique around their existence. But with the fall of the symbol of peace, villainy has been on the up and up. So it's not hard to imagine why they're rising in terms of prevalence in this story. I mean, in chapter 220, Shigaraki literally breaks the My Hero Academia logo, and it is hype. In 3 chapters alone, we have been exposed to 3 different villainous groups: the League of Villains, the Creature Rejection Clan, and the Meta Liberation Army. In reality, the CRC wasn't nearly as significant as the other two, but the inclusion of societal prejudice against heteromorphic or mutant quirk wielders was pretty damn interesting, and something I would love to see impact the likes of characters like Tsuyu, Mina, or Tokoyami. But I doubt we'll encounter many other members of this group for a while, considering the League of Villains kinda slaughtered them. Over the course of several story arcs, we've seen the influence and reputation of the League grow more and more to the point where during the overhaul arc, they seem to be on top of the world. But right now, it's pretty clear that this is not the case, as they're seriously struggling financially. They no longer have a dedicated base of operations, recruitment has stagnated, and their gear is desperately in need of repairs. Repairs which they can not only not afford at the moment, but their arms dealer has been captured without them even knowing, as enemy forces prepare to mobilize against them. Honestly, they only really have their name and reputation going for them, but if their current status were to get out, they'd be at risk of losing everything they've worked so hard to achieve. And sure, maybe this knocks them down a peg when it comes to how much we as fans herald their success, but I really think it's for the best. With the insane amount of similarities between Shigaraki and Deku as the two successors of a conflict spanning generations, the students of UA and the League of Villains stand as parallels to one another as well. So seeing them struggle and persevere on the other side of the equation is kinda necessary. And although they've been pretty successful in their previous escapades, they were really only dealing with a bunch of high schoolers and a handful of ill-prepared pros. The advancement of the Nomu was made evident with Endeavor's recent encounter with one of them, and only further corroborated by the Doctor's distinction between low, mid, and high grade iterations. However, this isn't a power the League can readily depend on right now, as they would require the Doctor's approval first. The resurfacing of the quote-unquote power All For One left behind was pretty fascinating. He actually cries his eyes out with how disappointing the League is combat-wise. Gigantomachia takes them all on simultaneously. I'm talking Twice, Spinner, Toga, Mr. Compress, Dabi, and Shigaraki, and is underwhelmed to the point of tears. That's hype on multiple fronts, as it not only furthers our summation that this dude is a complete unit, but it stands to reinforce that the League has plenty of room to grow when it comes to strength, and with the now consolidated state of their forces, are actually lacking in the category of straight up offense. When it comes to reconnaissance and espionage, they're great, but otherwise, Dabi's the only one I could see being a serious combative threat, as Shigaraki may be dangerous, but his need for close quarters physical contact is pretty restrictive. With the entirety of Class 1A having now received their provisional licenses, and Deku unlocking a facet of One For All unobtained by even All Might himself, Shigaraki and the League certainly need an upgrade of their own, and it seems like that's the path we're currently headed down. But in actuality, right now, UA isn't who the League should be worried about most, as the Meta Liberation Army have set their sights on them and have actually apprehended Giran the Broker, a procurer of black market support items of vital importance to their operations. And I know I might be jumping the gun a bit here, but I absolutely love the concept of the Liberation Army. I have always found the judicial constructs of this superhuman society to be kinda ludicrous. I mean, the fact that a civilian can't even use their quirk, a natural capability, without the threat of legal reprimand, even in the event of mortal danger, is ridiculous. Especially when those who fall under the mutant category of quirks may not be able to so easily restrict themselves, possibly adding fuel to the issue of prejudice we spoke of earlier. Not to mention how cool Destro Jr. seems to be. He's this vastly successful businessman, simultaneously branching his already reputable and culturally accepted company into the field of support items for both heroes and villains, and for the most part is known to be a pretty laid-back and charismatic guy. But when it comes to the Liberation Army, he is absolutely ruthless, and it's really exciting. It kind of felt similar to how Overhaul went about killing people with little disregard, and it's something I'm always open to in mainstream shonen, where that sort of savagery can at times be hard to come by. We don't even know the dude's name yet, but he's already so damn great. My only concern being that he might be a little too savage. By killing his innocent little mouse man of an assistant, it certainly cements him as a villainous man, but I wonder if a bit of ambiguity could have made for a more complicated situation. I say this because the distinction between a revolutionary and a villain can actually be pretty difficult. Like I said before, I for one agree that the legal state of quirk usage is questionable and could possibly benefit from a bit of reform. But if the only ones advocating for such change are a bunch of murderous radicals, it wouldn't exactly be a message I'd want to get behind as a citizen of this society. And don't get me wrong, I firmly believe that violence has its place in any major revolution as indicated by our own world's history. But killing regular citizens who don't concur with a bygone ideology, both censored and demonized at large by the very society they themselves belong to, is just irrational. Sure, Stain was a killer radical too, but the fact that he limited himself to slaying those he saw as unfit to carry the title of hero made his message a lot easier to latch onto, with a conviction and underlying truth capable of making even the most prolific of heroes shudder. At the end of the day, the victors are the ones that write history and determine what is right and what is wrong. So their vision very well could have come to fruition had they won in the past. And for that reason, I feel their primary objective is one that lies within a gray area between heroism and villainy. As things currently are, genuine heroics, the likes of which we've seen from Deku time and time again, are not facilitated, which by extension allows for the mass perversion of the field, having things such as monetary gain and fame taint a craft some might think should stem from a genuine desire to help others. And it's that sort of confliction this society, and our young heroes specifically, need to encounter. These are the choices of the past that now plague their future, and as the next in line to take up the mantle, they should have a say in how they proceed, which to me sounds like the basis of some incredible storytelling. But either way, the Liberation Army is for sure more in line with Stain's message than the League of Villains is, or even cares to be. So it's obviously only a matter of time until Spinner, a Stain fanboy, switches sides, since the Liberation Army is certainly interested in devoted members. And with the League now being broke, they probably won't attempt to contact Giran for a while, as he's being tortured by the Liberation Army. So they're gonna get the information they want one way or another. And with more focus on Spinner, hopefully we get his damn quirk soon. And guys, to be real with you, between this point and the Overhaul arc, the series has been hella dry, with a few exceptions, so having these developments is such a breath of fresh air. Anyways, let me know how you feel about My Villain Academia right now, and who you're excited to see develop the most. For me, beyond the obvious Shigaraki, I would have to say Twice. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.